All right, I want to welcome you to our call tonight. And it is the first call of the month for February. And I just am so excited. These calls always make me like, oh, everybody's here. And it's just like all my kids coming home. And so I'm glad to see all your faces and hear your names as you pop in and everything else. So, congratulations for being on the call because this is one of the top. Um, Ways for you to grow in your business. And what I know is that when you're consistently on these calls, your business changes when you take advantage of all the information that we have that we share on these calls. So I've got a PowerPoint and everything. Can you see my PowerPoint on my screen? Can you say yes? Oh, good. Yay. I like that. Um, so we're going to be talking today about it's the first of the month and it's setting goals and where do you want to be um, at the end of this quarter, at the end of this, well, at the end of the year, at the end of the quarter, at the end of the month, where do you want to be at the end of this week? And so we just are going to talk about this 90-day worth of consistent activity. But first, we're going to do some recognition for the month of January. And you guys just hit mute when you come on. We'll mute your background noise, but I wanted you guys to see we had the highest January volume that we have had in over 7 years. 7 years, guys. That makes me so excited about the growth and the momentum that we've got going on here because it's crazy, crazy, insane right now. And I'm so super excited. We had our very first, in my success line, had the very first person in qualification for regional vice president in Poland. And so so exciting that we've got it going there. And as well as all throughout the United States. I know for sure we've got one gal who finished qualification, Allison, oh shoot, her last name just left my head. But she's up in New York and she's the mama of 7 kids, is pregnant, and will be delivering her 8th baby in March. Homeschools her kids, and she went regional vice president the end of last month. So you know what? People are doing and going, and we've got great stuff. So I just wanted to quickly recognize the people who are in qualification for district manager. And you know what? This is a very important step, and I'm so proud of all of these people. Tina Teagarden, direct to Jared Bauer in Kentucky. Karen Sletter, direct to Leah Owen here in Tennessee. Jenna Loveday, direct to Jen Minatola in Tennessee. Victoria Bowler, direct to Legina Betts in Tennessee. Christina Blomquist, direct to Elizabeth Gaynor. Christina's in Tennessee. Joy Coley, direct to Legina Betts in Tennessee. Heather Anderson, direct to Margaret Harper in Kentucky. Deanna Johnson, direct to Renee Gibson in Indiana. And Melissa Perry, direct to Melissa Osborne in New York. And so I love hearing all of those different states because it means we've got that spider web and you guys are just sharing and growing. And I can't wait. I can't wait. We've got our wanted to recognize our highest personal retail volume, Christy Hurd with 5851, and she's literally has her head out the window trying to drive through the fog coming home from a party. Highest district sales, Christy Hurd again. Her district did 8,999, so her district almost did area numbers last month. Highest area manager in sales goes to Renee Gibson with 13,000, and Renee hit area manager and has been very consistent, way over 10,000 every month. And so that's so awesome because I know she's getting ready to explode and hit that 20,000 and then go on. Highest district in sponsoring, Christy Hurd with 12. And I love this, 12, 11, 9, 7, 6, 5, 5. And I think maybe there was another person with 5. If I missed you, I am so sorry. But I love sponsoring because that is so important. And then people who earn their district manager bonus, an extra $200 in their paycheck, Renee, Christy, Legina, and Margaret. So that's all awesome. So here we are, February 1st, and we are setting our goals. And I hope that you've sent in your goals. And what I'm hearing from a lot of people is they've got lots of activity that has carried them over. And they did the booking blitz and got activity when we were up in Virginia. And then that has just carried, and the momentum is continuing to go on. So when we're looking at where do you want to be at the end of this month, it's knowing why you're doing Arbonne. Yes, we write down the reasons why we do Arbonne in our action plan, and you should pull that out on a consistent basis. Why are you doing Arbonne? Because that's really important to know. And next to each why that you have written down, you should also have a date written down, meaning a date with an activity. Because if that why is important to you, you will find a way to get the activity next to it so that you can accomplish it. But why are you doing Arbonne? What's your dreams and desires and discontents that can't be met without you doing Arbonne? And so often people are discontent with Arbonne and dissatisfied with Arbonne, and the reason why is they don't have the activity. And I've never, in all of my 12 and a half years of going on in Arbonne, no one has ever quit Arbonne when they've had a full calendar. They quit when they have an empty calendar. And so it's knowing why you're doing Arbonne is going to, I mean, your calendar and your paycheck is your boss, not me or your sponsor or anyone else. It's your paycheck that's your boss. And so know why you're doing Arbonne. What is it that you need to get accomplished this month? And when do you want to have your next goal? So when we do our monthly goal sheets, because this is so important, the percentages go so far up with people who are able to accomplish their goals. I've read it's like 80, if you guys will just make for sure that you're muted, that will be awesome. It's like 80 to 90% of people who write down their goals accomplish them. So there's power in the pen and getting that accomplished. So writing it down and then having that accountability so that you've got someone who just helps you and you're being accountable. You should be accountable to your family, but also accountable to your area manager and your VP. And then now that you know why you're doing it, when you want to have your goal, then it's how are you going to get there? And Melissa Mercer did it so great when she was training for us in Virginia at our basics retreat, is that it's parties and people and personal development. It's what's going to help you to get there. And so we're just going to break it down. So let's say you want to be region by the end of the year. And do you remember we had this and goal sheet, and we have the goal sheet and it's on directedpath.info and the password is Arbonne, and it has it broken down. If you were to start this month, because you're like, well, Gina, I don't know what my goal should be. I don't even know how to get to the first goal. I don't even know what to do. Then this goal sheet that's on our webpage, our website, then it breaks it down for what you need to do to get into qualification this month, and then bringing it into next month and next month. And when you have that 30% growth every month, you will be a regional vice president by the end of the year. And so taking that sheet, and what I did when I first started Arbonne is that I took that sheet of what my next goal was, my next management level, and I pasted it right next to my computer so that every time I got on my computer, I knew exactly where I was going, and I had a clear path for it. And I knew I was going to get to that level, and then I was going to go to the next level and the next level. And so district manager is 6,000 over 1 or 2 months, or 7,500 over 3 months. So if you're brand new, then that's your goal. 2,500 will get you into qualification for the first month, or you can do all 6,000 in 1 month. Amber Keys just recently did that, 6,000 all in 1 month. So if you say, okay, that's what I want, and you know where you want, then you just break it down by the number of activity. Because when you do your goal sheet, you've got your goal and then you've got your activity. And if they don't meet, then something has to be adjusted. Either you need, if they're not meeting, that did meet. If they don't meet, then you know that either you need to adjust your goals down, which I don't recommend, or you need to adjust your activity up, which you can do. You are in control of that, and you can. So divide the average number of cells by the volume that you need, and that's the number of activities that you're going to need to execute this month. And so here you'll see 6,000. If the average party sale was $350, then you need a total of 17 and a half events, 17 events plus a little bit to get to district manager in 1 month. So when that's you and another person, and you're each, between the two of you are doing 17 events, then you've got district manager all in 1 month. And so you can see how that's broken down. And here just kind of showing, going into qualification for area manager. So it's just breaking it down into bite-sized pieces. Then you can see that it's you, and you've got your business builder 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Some are doing something. Some are doing what they're the building blocks, because 2,500 is your building block. You always doing 2,500 every month, bringing in your new business builder, and that's their minimum that they should be shooting for each and every single solitary month themselves, because they're having the activity. If you get close to where you need to be, your 2,500, then throw in some sample packets, throw in some one-on-ones. Selling an ASVP is right at it's $316 for an advanced RE9 line. And so you can see your group activities, because you need to be hitting and seeing about 40 to 50 people in a month's time period. And so that's how you're going to do it, is by getting in front of people. So activity is everything. And then you have to decide, when are you doing it? Because procrastination, which, you know what, guys, I am as guilty as the next person about procrastination. It's just a fancy word for laziness. And boy, I'm just like, wow, shoot. And so you just need to know that you have to treat this just like a job. When are you clocking in? And it can't be just sometime whenever you feel like it. You have to know. So take out your calendar. And my daughter got asked for a calendar for Christmas. And when I went online to buy it, I bought me one too. But it's got every day broken down by hour. And it's a great place for me to make my to-do list. And do you know, John Maxwell talks about that. People who are successful are people who make to-do lists that night before they go to bed. That way in the morning, because he said, if you don't have your to-do list ready when you get up in the morning, you've wasted your day. And so making your to-do list. And so I've gotten, focus is my word for this year. And so focusing on what I need to do that night, so that in the morning, I know what needs to get done. And I start with the hardest thing first, and get that off my plate right away, so that I don't have to put my head on the pillow at the end of the night going, shoot, I put that off again. And so we're all busy. We all have craziness going in our day. And so it's just learning to be in control of your time, or you will find that your time is completely wasted. And so keeping it simple. Know that what your calendar looks like is income producing activities. It's booking events, booking coffee appointments, or doing events and doing coffee appointments. And so that's your income producing activities, and that's your goal, and that's your focus. Because I have a daughter, when she was younger, would go everywhere. And I don't know, I've got 4 daughters. Each one is beautifully made, and I love every personality. But when I was talking with this daughter, you guys be sure and hit mute button. I can't mute you on this screen. So if you'll just make for sure that you're muted. But when I was talking to this daughter, I would go like this. I would say, Catherine, look at me. You need to focus. And she, if we could get in the zone, all of this distraction wouldn't be messing her up. She would just be knowing exactly what she needed to do. And so this is your get in the zone when you're looking to grow your business, is your activities right here. So when we know what we're supposed to be doing, and then you look down at your calendar at last month, or you and I look at our calendar for this month, we know that 8 group presentations is our recipe for success. We know that bringing on 4 new people, 4 clients, and starting 1 new business builder is exactly what you need to do each and every single solitary month. So when we know what to do and we're not doing it, you know, what's the difference? We were able to go, two different times to London with our band, and we took the whole family. We were able to do that, and when we were getting ready to go on the tube, and no joke, guys, somebody's not muted, and I can't mute you from my screen. So if you just please take one quick second, mute your phone, or if you're only on the phone, or mute your screen. So just hit the bottom of your screen or the top of your screen so that the board comes on so that you can mute yourself. And thank you for doing that. That just makes it so that it's really easier for a better recording. But when we would get on this tube, they would always say, mind the gap, because the tube wouldn't come all the way up to the station, and there would be a big gap between the tube, the train that ran underground, the subway underground, and the platform. So mind the gap. And so if there's a gap, we got to mind the gap. We just can't pretend it's not there and drop off into oblivion, and then the train would run over us. We've got to be aware of it. And what is it? And so when you know what's motivating you, it's your dreams. Because we all have fears, and I've got a quote in here later that Leah Gilbert gave me. And so it's when you've got the eye on your prize, and that's what's going to help you to get past all of your fears. Whether it's doing it exactly like what we talked about earlier. It's breaking it down into bite-sized pieces, and how am I going to accomplish it, and when am I going to accomplish it. And so in whatever area that we're talking about, and let me just be really horribly transparent, I have been on a mission for the last couple of months to do better with my exercising, and for a variety of different reasons. For my health, basically, is the bottom one. And so I've been kind of pushing myself in 30 minutes to my program that I'm doing. It's 30 minutes, and it gets me to 1.67 miles. And so for the last several weeks, I've just been inching up my the rate that I've been doing it. So it automatically sets it, but I've been punching it a little higher because my goal has been to get to 2 miles in 30 minutes. Now that's not record-breaking speed, but it was a goal for me. And so every day I would work to do that. And every day that I was working out, which is about 4 to 5 mornings a week, I would be doing this. And I would get closer and closer. And I would realize, as I'm sitting in my chair getting ready to put on my shoes, that, okay, I'm not going to push myself today. And, okay, today I am going to push myself. Well, it's okay if I don't get to 2 miles. And this internal struggle that I kept coming up with. And the last several days, I'm like, doggone it, I'm going to do it. And so yesterday, I was like, okay, and I pressed it up, and I ran faster. It was only supposed to be at a 4.0 rate, and I pushed it up to 6. And I ran a couple of minutes at 6, and then it would jog it down. Anyway, yesterday, long story, very, very shorter, yesterday I was looking at it, and I was like, oh, I'm going to get close, but I don't know that I'm going to make it. And as I was coming down to the last 2 minutes, you're supposed to be cooling down with your rate that you're running. And I wasn't cooling down. I was revving it up because I'm like, I really want to get there. I really want to get there. And at the end of 30 minutes and it shut off, I was at 1.92. And I screamed. I'm the only one in the house. And I'm just like, ah! And I was so frustrated because if I would have hit it harder at the beginning, I wouldn't have been sprinting at the very end when I'm supposed to be winding down. You know what I mean? And as I was doing it, I thought, how often do we just kind of lollygag at the first of the month? And yeah, here we are, we're lollygagging, and we go, oh, it's to the end. Oh, we got to sprint. We got to go fast, fast. It's the last day of the month. It's the last couple of hours, and we're running fast, fast, fast. Except sometimes we get there, sometimes we don't. And so this morning when I started running, I on purpose stayed at the 6.0 longer than I was supposed to, and I kept hitting it and pushing myself at the very beginning, so that when I got down to the last 6 or 7 minutes, do you know what I knew? I knew I was going to go over 2 miles today. And when I finished, I was at 2.1001. I don't know what it was, but it was over 2, and I didn't care because I had done it and I had pushed myself and I started early, stayed in the game, fought with my head. And so here's what I want you guys to know. 4 quick points. Understand that feelings are liars. They are liars. You cannot trust your feelings. It has to be fact. And here's the fact. If you've booked one event, you can book another. So I don't want you to think about, okay, I need to book 8 to 10 events. I want you to think about, I'm going to book one more. And after you book one, I want you to celebrate. You just shake. Yay, I booked one more. And then I want you to focus on, I'm going to book one more, and I'm going to book one more. Because every day is a difference. You can make a difference today in your finances, in your health, in your relationship, in your spiritual life, in every way, which is Today Matters by John Maxwell. And so it's pushing past the fear. Pushing through fear is less frightening than living with the underlying fear that comes from the feeling of helplessness. We are not helpless. If your calendar is empty, you're not helpless. We have got ways to help you get that activity. And the first one, it starts with your feelings. Because if you keep thinking, if you're going to get the wasting time doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, it's crazy. And so it all starts with your thought life. I was listening to a podcast, Matt Chandler, Living on the Edge, and it was good to great in God's eyes, 10 practices great Christians have in common. This is where this comes from. But it's also with anything that we're talking about, you have the wrong thinking, all of the I'm not good enough, tall enough, smart enough, I'm not outgoing enough, I don't know enough people, I don't live in the right town. When you have that wrong thinking, it leads to wrong emotions, which leads to unwise behavior and gives you devastating consequences. Case in point, the other day, and I've been working on my health and choosing to be healthy. It's all a mindset. I'm choosing to be healthy. I'm not depriving myself of food. I'm choosing to be healthy. But I pulled on a pair of pants and they didn't fit. You know how you feel when a pair of pants doesn't fit? You're just like, ugh. And all of a sudden running through my head was all of these, I told you can never lose weight. You'll never be skinny again. You're always going to be, and you guys probably never have that, but I do. And I got so frustrated and I put those pair of pants in this in the corner of my closet, and I pulled on another pair of pants. They were both the same size, but this one fit. And all of a sudden I was like, oh yeah, these fit. And it was that the thinking that was going through my head led to a negative or a positive emotion. And that emotion will either drive you to a wise or an unwise behavior. And when you consistently exhibit behavior one way or the other, you're going to have devastating consequences or you're going to have positive consequences. And we can talk about any area of our life that we can talk about, but it's practicing great thoughts. And so it's a practice. We have to practice. First, you have to be aware of it. Stopping the Chatterbox, again, by Stephen Furtick, an incredible book. What's going through your head? And having great thoughts, for me, it's about my Heavenly Father. It's having great thoughts about myself, which can be so challenging at times. But when I realize how He made me, and if I ever complain about who I am, I'm really complaining about how He made me. And that was a really eye-opening, knock me between the teeth thought. How am I thinking about others, my life, my future, my past, the challenges that He has? And so it's a practice, and you have to pay attention to your internal dialogue and limit the news stories and the TV reports that you listen to, choosing to be around uplifting friends, exercising in the body and the mind, listening to great music. And these last two, because you guys can read just as well as I can when I'm reading it, but this is a life changer. It's being grateful for things that you have in your life and writing them down every night in a gratitude journal. 1,000 Gifts is a book that I was recommended a couple of years ago. And it's just writing it down and then writing down 5 affirmations about yourself, speaking them out loud, because your brain doesn't know And at first, when you're writing them down, Zig Ziglar talks about this, that when you write them down, you feel kind of silly, but as you do it and speak with conviction about yourself, then writing it down at night, and then speaking it out loud in the morning. So put it by your bathroom mirror, because here's what I know. I would have in my coaching calls, I would have somebody in the exact same town, and one person would say, nobody wants to book activity. It's a bad time. And the other person that I'm coaching is like, wow, my calendar's full. People are booking everywhere. And they live in the same town. The difference is what their internal dialogue, what they're allowing themselves to say. And as people are building business, and as I have seen myself through my journey, is that sometimes I would find myself saying I didn't deserve a particular level, or I wasn't good enough, or whatever it is. So it's taking every thought captive. Think on these things. And so it's being very much so on purpose. Here's an example of right thinking, and it comes from a gal, Joyce, I was going to say Joyce Myers, and that's not who it was. Joyce, I'm not going to say her last name. She's in Oklahoma, and she wrote this out, and this was her things that she is saying. I'm confident about this business and the product, and I want you can make your own, but saying it with positive conviction. I'm confident about this business and the products. I share with people in a warm, genuine, and loving way, and they sense my intentions when we talk. And what if this person needs a change, or maybe knows someone who does? I'll share with passion, and I will not be concerned with the outcome. I'm proud of who I am and what I represent. And so it's saying those things and realizing it's never too late. If you say, gosh, my calendar's empty today, Regina, then it's not too late. And taking the words try and might out of your vocabulary and just do it. So you have to do it and then feel. Do it and then feel. Feel much later, because I rarely feel like picking up the phone and calling. I rarely feel like exercising, but the more that I just do it, when I get it done, then I allow myself to feel. Does that make sense? And then you have to make small sacrifices daily, because if you're not willing to change your thoughts, which give you a better emotions, which give you better behavior, which will give you a better outcome, then you'll never change. I was listening. One of the things that I listen to when I'm walking, running, dying, jogging, is Dave Ramsey in his podcast. And there was a guy on there who was talking, and he goes, the truth is, if you're not willing to work on your internal thoughts, then you're really saying, I really don't want to change, and I'm just really want more of the same. And I thought, wow, that's kind of what I'm going to be talking about tonight. And so I backed it up and I wrote it down, because if you don't want to change, if you're not willing to change your internal thoughts about your finances, about budgeting or relationships or your Arbonne business, if you're not willing to start right down at the very grassroots level of your thoughts, then nothing's ever going to change. And so your audio and your video have to match. What you're saying in your head and what you're living out in your day have to be the same. And so knowing that, the fourth thing is you have to give it consistent time. So 3 months from now, you're going to thank yourself. You're going to thank yourself for what you've been doing over the last 90 days. So it's 90 days of consistent activity. What I've seen is that people will go, okay, I booked 8, and they're so proud of themselves, and I am so proud of them for booking 8, because I know the mental challenges that you go through and the physical exhaustion, no joke, that you go through. But if you do it for one day, and then the next month you go, I'm really tired, I think I'm going to take a break, that's okay. That's your choice. It's your business. You can do it. But you have to start over with month 1 again. Because if you're going to grow a consistent business, it's not doing 8 1 month, 4 the next, 2 the next, 12 the next, 1 the next. It's doing 8 consistently every month, bringing on 4 new preferred clients, 1 new business builder every month. That's our recipe for success. Proven whether you are pregnant with your 8th child, proven whether you're in a brand new country and no one else that you know has ever become a regional vice president with Arbonne. It's been proven over and over and over again. And so I want to challenge you to do 3 months of consistent activity, 3 months of starting tonight with, I'm going to change the way I think about my business, and I'm going to change the way I think about the people who want to be coming into the business with me, because I'm going to change the person that I am. Nita Irwin said at our impact training last August, she said, if you want to triple your income, double your personal development. Triple your income, double your personal development. And so what are you reading? What are you looking at? And so I wanted to just share with you guys, we are going to be doing a 90-day worth of consistent activity. And let me show it to you. If I can pull it up. 90 days. Let me see if this is it. Oh, I got it. I'm so excited. Can you see it? Yes? Oh, good. Good. Thank you, Deanna, because I'm like, did I do it right? So here's what we're going to be doing, and I'm going to post it on to our Facebook page. Now, when I put this up, what did your head say? Did you hear it? Was it speaking loudly? And did it say, I'm going to get into this challenge, and I'm sure it's going to scare me, but I'm going to do it? Or did you say, I can't do that? So if you want your behavior, your consequences to change your behavior, change your emotions, change your thoughts. So let's go through this pretty quickly. If I can do this on this, I'm just going to do it here. Let me see how that does. Okay. What we're going to do, of course, put in the month. You are going to hold 8 to 10. Now, you know what? If you hold 10 parties this month in February, I'm not going to penalize you, okay? That's going to be just like good stuff for you, right? So your goal is to hold 8 group presentations. I also love that there's notes right here, because as you are having more activity, then I want you to put out here, ooh, I need to follow up with my hostess and send her information about the business. I need to follow up with the sample packet that I gave at the party. So this is going to be really, really helpful for you in order to be able to not drop the ball with anything that's going on with your business. And so that's going to be a really cool thing. This number is not going to be hard for you to fill up, because even if you just only signed up your hostess, that's going to give you 8 new signups. And you guys always do a minimum of 150 when you sign people up, because if you don't, they miss out on their $50 free product. And then at every group event, you are going to talk, because if you don't invite people to listen to a Discover Arbonne, get on a 3-way call with me or with Christy, or get on, do a coffee date with you, then your business is going to be stagnant. And so I want you to start saying, people are attracted to my business. I am a business builder making machine. And say that out loud to yourself, because if you give off the negative, that's exactly what you're going to get back, is the negative. And so here's a list, asking a minimum of 1 person to take a look at things as you are at every activity. This next one, while it may look a little daunting, it's not. Let me help you break this down. This is listening to a training CD or a recording for 20 days. So it's just really Monday through Friday, you're listening to it. This can be counted 1. So when you print this out, then cross off the number 1. On the way to a coffee appointment the other day, I listened to it was a 45-minute trip. So I went to successnation.info and I listened to 2 or 3 different trainings on successnation.info. That is so easy for you guys to do. While you're getting ready in the morning, listen to a training, because the worst time for your head to go bananas, my head to go bananas, is when you're getting ready in the morning. So be in control of that. Change that thinking to change your emotions, behavior, consequences by listening while you're getting ready. Reading 10 pages of personal development. This can be some of the personal development that I do every morning is my quiet time. And so that counts. But it's growing yourself so that you can grow your business. Be on every webinar. So you can check that one off. That's good. There's just 5 spaces because some months there's 5 Wednesdays. Attend the monthly meetings. This is so important to do that. And then ask. This is all about asking. And so whether you're asking for bookings by phone or by texting or by or in person, you're just using keywords. And do you have a second? I need to ask a quick little favor. I'm looking to book 8 spa presentations this month, and I can hook you up with a bunch of free stuff. And it would just mean the world to me if we could just pencil a date in. What do you say? And so it's, in order to get your 8 group presentations, then you're going to have to ask a lot of people. So this can even be in person at an activity. I'm okay with you counting that when you're at a booking. And so it's just knowing that in order to have 8, you've got to ask more than 8 people. You're going to be looking for a minimum volume of 2,500 each and every month. And if your goal is higher than that, that's fine. And then here's the next key that's going to, often I have opened my calendar, and you guys can say yes, no, maybe you've never done this, but I've often opened my calendar and my page was so beautiful and clean and sparkling white because there was no activity booked. And so I don't want you to be scrambling. I want you to be I want you to fill it up at the front of the month, just like I had to work hard to be extra to get my miles in at the beginning of my 2-mile walk, working hard at the beginning. That's what I want you to do. Put your activity towards the first of the month, and then as you get towards the end of the month, then start rolling on into the next month and into March. We are doing some, let me give you just a couple of ideas, and then we'll talk about rewards. And I know this one has gone a little bit over. We are doing, on February 13th, we are doing some makeup parties and letting people get all fancied up with makeup, and then they can go out and have a date with their significant other or their girlfriends. There are some people who don't have significant others or aren't going out with any friends, and so do a spa night on the evening of the 13th. There's people out there who are looking to be pampered on the 13th as well. Doing Chicks and Chocolate is a fun one to do. Doing a mother-daughter party. I'm doing a lot of nutritionals this month, and so plugging people into the training that's available. The webinars on Monday night. Oh, my nose is itchy. And so it's just asking, guys, is all that we really need to do, and asking with enough people and with enough passion, because you know that people are going to book with you. And so what's the benefit of you doing 3 months in a row? What's the benefit for you? The first benefit is you're going to have an incredible business. And you have worked really hard over the last 90 days when we get to the end of this challenge to change your thinking. And if you can change your thinking, if we can work together for that, then you have changed your life. And so be on purpose with all of that from the very beginning. And then I will put it on Facebook, but we've got 3 different prizes that's available for you. Some people just want money, and so for GTC. So do it February, March, and April. At the end of April, then I will give you cash, and you can apply it towards your expenses for GTC. Some people are like, no, I really want to be pampered and to have a spa. And so for some people, if you want to choose to do a gift certificate through Spa Finder, then I'm going to give you a free massage, a free dinner out, a coupon, and qualifying volume for you underneath your personal ID number. So you have that as a second choice. Your third choice is putting QV under your personal ID number, and you're getting the products. And so you get to pick and choose Oh, there was another one. With that, it was personal QV. Oh, and a shopping trip at Tiffany, a beautiful Tiffany necklace. So Tiffany necklace and QV, a spa night and dinner and QV, or just cash. So you guys get to choose those three things. So I hope you're excited. I hope that you feel that this has empowered you to go, I got to start with my thinking and change my stinking thinking, and then I can change my life. And so working on setting out your goals. And if you've not done that, to do that for this month, where do you want to be? Breaking it down into bite-sized pieces. Where do you want to be at the end of this 90 days? And then take this challenge with me, because this is one that I'm going to be doing as well. And and I just know that you're going to love this. You're going to hate this challenge. You're going to be grateful for this challenge, all in the same breath. Does that make sense? Because it's going to push you, and it's going to motivate you to do things that you may not have ever done. But if you want things to change, you have to change. And so do I. So thanks for being with me tonight, and be looking for this. I'm going to throw it up on our Facebook page. And then if you have any questions, feel free to text me or Voxer me, or we've got a group me, a group me group, I guess. And so you guys can just be in contact with me. So I wish you the best on all of this, and we will see you again right here next week. You guys make it a great night. Good night.
Good night, Legina.
Thanks so much, Heidi.
Good night. Thank you.
Talk to you.
Good night, Legina. Thank you for your time.
Mwah.
Good night, Legina.
Good night, friends.